The reason I wanted to catch you guys up is because I've had kind of a pretty rough situation going on over the last 3 months, and it all started from this hunt. Let's adjust the lighting here a bit. That's pretty good. All right, guys, how's it going? It's been a little while. I am out here grilling on the Traeger. Let me show you what we got cooking. Oh yeah, bunch of wings. Been doing a lot of wings on the Traeger, and they are good, man. I'm telling you what, they're really good. Flipping them right now. If you guys don't have a Traeger, I've been cooking a ton on the Traeger, and there's some dang good recipes out there. We've done brisket, we've done ribs, we've done tri-tip, we've done, oh God, I don't even know. We've done it all on here. So yeah, we are out here cooking some wings, and I wanted to give you guys a bit of an update as to what's been going on. First of all, we have a new puppy, and his name is Nasher. Say hi, Nasher. You want to show him your tricks already? Nasher, sit. Good boy. Shake. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. That's a good boy. Good tricks. So, I've been a little MIA. I was really excited to do filming during my hunt for elk and deer. And we did actually get an animal down, and I want to show you guys that footage first. But there's definitely been some reasons why I haven't been posting lately, and I just actually started getting back into posting. I posted an ice fishing video. I'll have a lot more of those to come. But I want you guys to kind of see how the hunting trip went, and then I'll kind of explain where things went from there. What's going on, guys? We are at about 9,000 feet on the top of a mountain, and we ended up doing a bunch of hiking through shin deep, knee deep, and even sometimes waist deep snow. This whole area has gotten about 5 feet since the beginning of the season, and it's just been treacherous to try to walk through. We have not seen any deer or elk yet, and we are just completely soaked full of sweat, and the wind started to pick up, and there's some trails that go down in there, and we're just kind of waiting for something to go by. We've heard a couple shots on public, but most of them have been on private, so we'll see what this turns into later. But we're definitely excited to be out here. It's beautiful country, and we'll get a game plan together. Hey guys, coming at you from close to the Wyoming border. I got a frame pack on because I just shot my first game animal. So did Charlie here. We actually got a twofer kind of at the same time. We told each other there were so many people hunting all over these lands that we decided to just kind of drive around and look out and see if we could see any deer. And you can't make this up. There's 10 hunters about 300 yards up the road, and they're looking at this one bluff, all with binoculars. One dude has a scope kind of mounted to his windshield, and they're just sitting there staring. I drive by and I look and I go, Charlie, I think there's does. Sure enough, there was 3 does and a buck. And so we kind of came up to this hill right here, and they were walking through the brush. I told Charlie, because I was shaking too much, it's my first big game animal. He pulled the trigger. I told him to shoot. Hit her. She made the classic, you know, moan, and then basically went down almost in place. And then they kind of ran up this hill here. You can kind of see some of their tracks, and they were right up on the edge in those little evergreens. So I got on this hill about 120 yards and put down my bipod, waited till I found a doe, slowly squeezed. She fell right away, and then she ended up, you know, dying less than probably 80 yards from where I took the shot. But we are so freaking stoked right now. How do you feel, Charlie?
Dude, I'm jacked. First one ever for you.
Freaking pumped. I couldn't choose a better person to kill my first big game animal with. So we're walking up on them right now, show you guys them both, and then we're gonna start cutting and quartering, get these things packed out. We're actually probably only 400 or 500 yards from a usable road. So I think we'll be good to get these guys out before it gets super dark. But the sun is setting, God is good. We got 2 animals and we're feeling real good right now. Here is doe number 1. That's my doe. And you can see, got her pretty much behind that shoulder, a little bit high, but not bad. She's still on the ground. And then right back here is Charlie's, and got her a little bit over that front shoulder. But mine's a little bit smaller than Charlie's is, but needless to say, we are 2 excited men to have our animals down. So we're gonna get after this before rigor mortis sets in. Look at God's beautiful country, and we can't wait to get these things cut and put them on the table. I know it's probably hard to see. We're finally packing out. Here's Charlie's big deer in his pack. We're packed up and we're walking back to the truck now. Good thing it's only about 400 yards or so. We're almost out. We got them cut up. Probably took us less than what, 2 hours, Charlie? Oh yeah. Less than 2 hours to cut them up, pack them up, and start walking out. So 2 deer down. We're loving it.
So that was basically the hunt, and then right after that we spent like a couple days just like running around different areas. We actually went back to that area as well. My father-in-law ended up shooting a buck, and then my buddy Brian that we were with as well had an opportunity at a buck, but it was a little bit far off and there was a lot of hunting going on around and it just wasn't a safe kind of scenario. So we ended up getting out of there. I did have a chance at an elk, actually 3. We kind of saw him down in this ravine. I didn't have my gun at the time because I had let my buddy borrow it. So I grabbed my father-in-law's 30-06 and I just start running towards these elk. They're kind of down low, they can't see me, and there's a little bit of a ridge line. So I'm just sprinting right along the ridge line and I'm about to go over. And then once I get to the top, I'll be about 120 yards, 150 yards, somewhere in there. And then I can just kind of lay up and take a shot. Well, what happened was there was a bush, and I jump over the bush and my leg goes about 2.5 feet down, just like a gopher hole or some sort of animal's hole. And I just totally clipped the front of my shin on the front of that hole, and I went straight over. My backpack and the rifle came over my head. I face planted and the rifle kind of swung forward because it was on my shoulder strap, and buried about 6 inches of that rifle in mud. So I'm sitting there contemplating what I'm gonna do. I was able to knock the barrel enough to get some of that mud out, and the elk hadn't moved still at this point. And then I just decided, it's like so clogged up and there's rocks in there and stuff. I need to make sure that this barrel's clean before I shoot it because I didn't want it to flower out or whatever like you see. So I went back to the truck, ended up cleaning out the barrel, and wouldn't you know it, there goes the elk sprinting up the hill. The reason I wanted to catch you guys up is because I've had kind of a pretty rough situation going on over the last 3 months, and it all started from this hunt. Actually, that video you just saw of me shooting my deer. I made one mistake when I was shooting that deer, and that mistake was I wasn't wearing my ear protection. I didn't bring it with me, and I knew that I should have it, but this time I just decided, hey, it's hunting. I'm shooting the rifle one time. It should be okay. It's not like I'm at the range, right? So I ended up taking a shot, and I noticed about 3 or 4 minutes in after my rifle shot that my ear was really muffled. I couldn't hear much of anything out of my left ear, and it was just ringing. Now, I know most of you hunters, you go out, you shoot some birds, your ear rings. You go out, you shoot your rifle, it rings for a little bit. My ear was ringing so loud I couldn't hear anything. I was having sensitivity to other sounds. I couldn't hear my buddy out of my left ear. It was just not a good situation. So I knew something was wrong, but I figured, in 3 or 4 days this will go away. Well, it didn't. And I guess what I'm trying to say is heed my warning, because I actually still have the ringing in my ear. Now, most of you may be aware that it's called tinnitus or tinnitus, and the ringing can actually be permanent. It's your brain's way of making up for hair cells that have been damaged through concussive blasts or lots of loud music. Drummers typically get it, musicians typically get it. It's not something that goes along with hearing loss, but it's something that can definitely come with it. So they're not handcuffed to each other. Some people have hearing loss without tinnitus, but a lot of people that do have hearing loss unfortunately get tinnitus as well. The kicker is, I knew I had hearing loss from a previous encounter with an ENT for some dizziness, vertigo I was having. They showed me the hearing loss, they told me to get hearing protection, and I didn't heed those warnings, and I ended up continuing to shoot shotguns at ducks and pheasant and dove without hearing protection, occasionally shooting my rifle at big game animals without protection, and it ended up this time biting me in the butt. The doctors that I had seen had basically told me, you know, hey, this could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. You can shoot rifles, you can shoot guns and not have any problems, except for it is continually and always going to be damaging your hearing, but you may not get tinnitus. So I ended up getting tinnitus. It's very loud, it's constant, it bothers me about 10 to 12 hours a day at this point. In the beginning, it was 24 hours a day. All I could hear was this ring. I heard it over my truck. I heard it over the TV. I heard it over even putting earbuds in my ear and trying to play white noise. And I was miserable. I mean, it'll make you go crazy. If you get tinnitus or tinnitus, however you want to say it, it's said both ways, you will regret not wearing hearing protection. So I guess what I'm trying to do with this video is let you guys know that hearing protection is so important when it comes to rifle shooting, shotgun shooting. Those blasts are so loud, it can take a split second to cause you permanent hearing loss. In my case, I have a 40 decibel drop at 4,000 hertz. And that is a substantial drop in hearing. And that's no less done in part to me shooting a gun without hearing protection. So I wanted to let you guys know it's so easy to just bring like amplified hearing protection. You can turn these up, you can hear everything that's going on. Turkeys, ducks, doves, whatever. I know it sounds a little funky, but having these is so much better than ruining your hearing for life. You cannot grow your hair cells back. You cannot get rid of tinnitus. Some people do that are lucky, but most people have it for life. So these, or just slip a couple of these plugs in your pocket, and when you're ready to shoot an animal, plug it in real fast. It doesn't take that long, but it's super, super important to protect your hearing. And if 2 seconds I would have taken to put these in my ear, I wouldn't be dealing with tinnitus. I wouldn't have dealt with it. I have a hearing aid now to deal with some of my hearing loss and to help me cover up some of the tinnitus sound. So I just can't stress it enough. Like, I want every one of you that hunts, if you haven't before, wear hearing protection. If you plan on hunting or starting, wear hearing protection. If you're at the range, it's important. If you're hunting, it's just as important. I want to show you with this decibel meter here what different sounds sound like, and then you can see just how much you're hurting your hearing even on a daily basis and why it's so important. So I legitimately need to cut a piece out of this wood for a project. So I'm gonna find out just how loud this jigsaw is against wood. It's on max, so hopefully you'll be able to see what the max decibel is of this saw cut. So it fell over right there, but I want you guys to see. Do you see that? 126.7 decibels just cutting that piece of wood. Do you know that anything over 90 decibels, I think it's 85 or 90 decibels, is immediately impactful towards your ear? Anything at 120 plus can cause permanent damage right away. So this, without ear protection, permanent damage could occur. .3 decibels. Just hitting a hammer on that piece of wood. So I hope that helped bring some insight into just how loud everyday sounds can be. Blenders, Any sort of kitchen appliance are super loud. Obviously the vacuum, and then tools. You know, I cut things all the time with saws. I use drills. I hammer the crap out of stuff, and all that stuff can be damaging your hearing. So I know it sounds silly. I know it sounds dumb, but if you're not wearing your hearing protection, you could end up like me. And if you end up getting tinnitus for longer than 3 months, which just about a week ago marked 3 months for me, it'll drive you crazy. So just wanted to give you guys kind of the heads up, let you see what happened with the hunting trip, why I've been kind of absent. I've been dealing with tinnitus. I've been getting a hearing aid. I've been trying to figure out my diet and kind of change some things around to see if I can lessen how loud the ring is. I'll have good days and I'll have bad days, but for the most part, it's just a constant ring in my left ear. At the very end of this clip, this video rather, I'll share just a short clip of what my tinnitus sounds like every single day, and I'll try to match the volume. So if you're listening to this at a normal level, you can kind of hear what it's like in my head all day. But yeah, just please take it from me, learn my lesson, and not have to learn it for the hard way yourself. So if you could just wear hearing protection, make a simple change in the way that you hunt and do it regularly, you're going to save yourself a lot of hassle in the end. Look forward to catching you guys in the next episodes of CO Fish Bro. I still plan on doing a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I just renewed kind of my partnership with TFO, Temple Fork Outfitters. So send me something in the comments that you think would be fun to win. They just came out with a bunch of conventional rods. So we want to do some videos with some of their walleye rods and some of their other conventional series rods. We've done quite a bit with the fly fishing stuff in the past. I gave away a fly fishing rod, gave away lures and flies before. So just let me know what you guys would be interested in. If you go to Temple Fork's website and you see something that you like there, you think that would be kind of cool to win, let me know. Nothing's off limits for 10,000 subscribers. Thank you guys all for watching and continuing to keep the content relevant. And I'll try to provide you guys with more cool videos. And we'll see you here sometime soon on CO Fish Bro.